Look, tap in, nigga, log in. Smoke a lot radio, we going all in.
Tap in, bitch, log in. Smoke a lot radio, we going all in.
Tap in, hold log in. Smoke a lot radio, we going all in.
The squad making sure we all win. Smoke a lot radio, we going all in. Zilla, I'm the host with the most smoke. Rolling up the most dope. Kato got the most jokes. Simone Taylor keep it sexy for the grown folks. I'm OG, tone low, bouncing on them gold spokes. Smoke, we the #1 podcast. Some other shows, all trash. Amber Rose, all ass. Broadcasting live from the coast. Sick committee with the jokes. Come and get your ass roasted.
Kato phone, you nigga, review my file. How to show up on the net. You other niggas is clowns. Pulling buster niggas' cars, pulling whole skirts up. I'm the king of one-liners. Y'all got what the fuck? Since we stepped up on the scene, we got the haters' attention. Only bosses on the set, you other niggas is mentioned. For your back for interviews, nigga, boss up your views. Nigga, fuck your crew. Nigga, who is you?
Coming through with the block report. The real spill, cause niggas know I got report. About to give you what you're waiting for. Simone, Kato, and Young, we about to take the floor. And we back like we never left. Other radio shows, they getting put up on the show. Every time we step out, you know we fresh to death. Here to take our reign till there ain't nothing left.
You bitch. Hey, who is these niggas y'all talking about? They gon' get on Smoke a Lot with they 400 followers, 17 motherfucking view having ass. Fuck, these niggas crazy than a motherfucker. These niggas crazy than a motherfucker. Fuck. Hey, Simone, what she got with? Oh my mama.
Hey, tap in, nigga, log in. Smoke a lot radio, we going all in. Hey, it's your host with the most Culado smoke, yuck mouth in the motherfucking house with the illest nigga in Nebraska, B.
California, oh my mama.
And we are Smoke a Lot Radio, you know what I mean, with another motherfucking episode, man. We got a super duper celebrity, one of my brothers from another mother. You know what I mean? Me and his brother have been on the road, man. Me and his brother that did songs, man. He a legendary artist from the South, man. You know what I mean? Give it up for motherfucking Young Bleed, man. You dig?
Young Bleed.
What's good? What's hood with y'all, man? Much love. You know, we go many days, many ways. Kato, good to meet your family, man.
What's all up?
No?
I just gotta let these motherfuckers out there know in podcast world. Who that say they want to do that?
That's
You get your ass beat, blue black.
Blue black. Ugh, do it to him. Yes,
That's who that is.
That's
Problems was the remix. This the original.
Hey, and he know it too, man. All the way on that wild West Coast. I appreciate that.
On my mama.
Hey, man, speaking of that, man, let's take it back to the beginning of Young Bleed before Who That. You know what I mean? Before that. You know, let's take it back to the Young Bleed, the actual young Bleed. You know what I mean? Let us know how you got into rap and how you got into music. You know what I mean? What led you to, you know what I mean, making the music with C-Loc and then eventually hooking up with Master D, man. Give us a breakdown of how you even got into music, like as a kid. Your influences and shit.
You know, like I know Yuck, they say rap mean rhythm and poetry. When
good one.
Yeah.
That's a new one for me, rhythm and poetry.
Rhythm and poetry. You know what I mean? So on that level, I tell everybody I was born this way. You see what I'm saying? Mama read me Dr. Seuss when I was still on the inside. My uncle played drums, a whole set, congas and bongos and all kind of, African. He don't play nothing plugged up. The African finger piano, different things like that, and just acoustic instruments. So, he used to play them drums a lot in my mama's pregnancy, and she said they used to bother. So, when I come into the world, by the time I was 8 months to the year, I was reading Dr. Seuss. By the time I was 4 and 5, I was playing a whole set. So that rhythm and poetry was there just from the gate. Then just so many ways and people throughout my family. My granddaddy played blues on the piano with a harmonica partner on Fridays, but he never made records. You know what I mean? Everybody in the family was talented, church talented on up. So that type of thing, music was there, and of course all the old records. So as hip hop was brewing, I was brewing too in them 70s, mid 70s, on into the late 70s until with the 80s grew to what they call the golden era, the East, and it hit the West. So, I kind of caught the middle of that from both sides of the game. You know what I mean? Growing from that as a kid, started writing about 9 years old in the 4th grade, you know what I mean? And just so many crews and just trying to build an opposite of California and New York without that access, other than rap a lot in the 80s and Luke Skywalker records for guys that was coming out of Louisiana. So I had a partner, you know what I mean, that I grew with, CeeLo, you know, since middle school. You know, it was his thing to be a DJ. I was the rapper, I battled and all that type of thing at lunchtime and wherever. So that was our whole thing, but we kind of separated in our teenage years, you know, got off into, you know, the street thing or whatever, and linked back up later, right before 20 years old, somewhere around that time, and was still holding on to the same thing. I used to, well, my first production was a tape I used to sell in the corner and the little liquor stores and, you know, whatever consignment at the little mountains and pops record stores that I had put out a year or two prior to him starting CeeLo Records. And he got back to it, but now he was doing the rap thing, and we linked back up in the hood some kind of way and started to build that company and that brand. But somewhere along the lines, between New Orleans and Baton Rouge and just the networking, him and Pete connected with each other. And of course, naturally, you know, we was fun to each other click, so we started making records and doing different things and, you know, into the how you do that, so on and so forth. But that's just a kind of quick summary of the whole evolution from music into the CeeLo concentration camp, no limit thing, you know.
So it's safe to say, you said on those Fridays, you and the family, you went mania on it. So I want to get back to the family functions on them Fridays.
Okay,
so your main inspiration, though, when you got to doing that music to see when it's time to perform on that Friday. What was your first Friday when it was, you know, you ready to show Uncle them what you got? You felt folks to what you got.
Well, on the Friday, you know what I mean? Speaking of my granddaddy time, it was a time before my time. You see what I'm saying? But later, you know, he ended up going blind. So I was just seeing that dog to the grave. His name was Good Bleed. That's what, you know, you'll learn later. That's why I got. So when he said a young bleed, is really off of my granddaddy name and me being a kid about 9 saying, hey, Papa, you know, one day I'm going to be a rapper and I'm going to own a record company. To this day, yeah. So it comes from granddaddy. And just that whole essence in the DNA as far as music on both sides of the family. So all that was there. Look, he was cool with him and Rudy Ray Moore, rest in peace, was cool partners. You know, Dolomite used to come through Baton Rouge back in the days and different things. And even, you know, later on with the new Dolomite movies, I knew some OGs that knew him. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to meet him, but But I know him and my granddaddy ran across in life or did something or whatever, knew each other at a certain time. So, you know, all that type of thing was kind of man, look, you know what I mean? My uncle, under my grandson, his junior, was called Peter Weestraw, the Devil's Son-in-Law, man. So off the Peter Weestraw movie, and you know, the old Rudy Ray Moore flicks, Dolomite, the whole nine. You know, kind of essence and blowfly, shit like that, you know what I mean?
Right.
But you was asking me something and trying not to stop the point. Trying to answer your question, Kato. I see y'all smoking.
Oh, yeah. I just know, you say the music, the whole music inspiration came out the family. So I had just got the vision of like those Fridays, Sundays when the family around the food. It's like, you want to show them your new drum thing. You know what I'm saying? So I had that vision right there.
Okay, well, yeah, look, to answer you all the way, man, it was maybe some of them times, because like I was saying, is this where I went off at? When he was still around and he was blind, he still kept that essence of the blues. I used to hate the blues as a child because he'll make me...
okay.
Don't hate on the blues.
Nah. I'm a blues baby. Trust you me. I listen to Robert Johnson and Smokehouse and
I'm fucking with you, bro. I'm fucking with you. I'm just playing.
I know you know. But just saying this, I grew to love the blues, and all the time when he couldn't play them, he made me play them by records, and them records stick with me to this day. So it was those times where, you know, we did the Michael Jackson, Prince thing, whatever form of talent. They'd call me out to the living room and do certain things. I had my pops had certain partners that knew I was rapping as a kid, and before, you know, they'll leave the house, hey man, bust one for me. So that was any given Sunday, you know, and so that kind of gave encouragement as a young kid that these OGs, you know, they got to see this shit. So, you know, and that morphed into everything else I grew into. But yeah, but to answer your question, yeah, man, that was any given Sunday.
Okay, so let's go back to you and C-Loc in high school, man. Was y'all a rap group in high school? Did y'all used to battle niggas at lunch? Like, how was y'all rapping in high school, man?
Well, middle school, really. Like
middle
about
school, middle school.
11, 12, somewhere like that. Really, it was just a rumor around the school. It wasn't a rumor. We talked about it, you know, and I'm sure you went through the same kind of experience a million times. Well, he was my DJ around middle school, but we never did a talent show together. He never had no turntables. I had real young homeboy DJs in the hood that was my DJ since kid, but he was one that in the time of life, and, you know, I'm going to my new whatever, you know what I mean, 6th, 7th grade year, and this what my focus is, you know what I mean, far as still pushing, you know, the dream that we push. But saying that to say this, so we never really did nothing like that past middle school, but I battled. I've been battling since elementary school, you know what I mean? Before I could write, I probably could rap in 82, but I didn't know how to write it. And you know what it is to write a tongue twister, catch your rudiments and all that, and cadence all at the same time. I was just learning that, and what taught me to do that was poetry. You see what I'm saying? So I had aunts and aunties and uncles that used to write poetry, and mama and different things like that. Then I had a poetry teacher in the 4th grade. And when Run DMC dropped that's like 83, when they dropped the self-titled first Run DMC record, I rewrote like Wake Up off the record, but I made it into what was in my family, what was in the community, and had the opportunity to turn that into the poetry teacher that had this poetry book that they was putting together going around to all the elementary schools. And it reached our state's capital when I was about 9 years old, you know, that I wrote, and the rerun DMC that I did, the Wake Up joint, was in that book, the way I constructed it, along with other kids in other elementary schools. But that was at the time in our city, our state's capital was like the tallest building. So to reach that young gave me a little confidence to keep going, you know what I mean? But but me and Loc never, like I say, more or less, in life didn't never do it. I did talent shows and different things. I was more the rapper, and everybody knew that in the town ever since a kid. But like I said, we separated somewhere between after middle school. He went to a different high school, and you know, different parts of town. So we'll reconnect somewhere between 16, maybe 17 years old. You know, I was out and doing my thing and all that kind of shit. You know, shit, young with a baby on the way, that kind of shit. So I was hustling. We reconnected like that, you know what I mean, on the hustle side, but we're still with the rap dream. And he, picked me up one day and brought me on. We went by a studio and started letting me know what he was working on. And we started to collect the vibes from that point on back to what we was trying to do since middle school. Yeah.
Okay, one more thing, man. What was your first rap, man? We asked Zudam, what was the first rap that he ever wrote? What's the first rap you ever wrote, my nigga?
Man, it probably was a million things. Yeah, I started a lot like Run DMC. I had a homeboy named Darian Williams, man. That me and him was formulating Run DMC as kids. You know, we had a group called Silk and Slum off my OG cousin Silk and Slum. So we took his name and broke it in half. You know what I mean? And naturally, I was the Slummer Cat, so I went with Slum. That was my first rap name. So maybe the first rap that I wrote, if it wasn't that Wake Up, Yuck, it was somewhere close to that in the 4th grade, man. But yeah, one of those or something. But yeah, you made me think way back. Well, yeah.
Again, I know you was in the lab before. How you do that? So, so what did you have many albums out, or was you just doing songs at that time?
I started recording really for the first time, about 11 years old. When I started writing at 9, about 2 years before I started getting in the little home studio that we had in the city. And
so you was Lil Wayne out there, huh?
It was like hustle and flow.
You know what I mean? One of the first, you know what I mean? But yeah, doing that type of thing, and just having to kind of find a background, musicians and different people like that I didn't know existed. Homeboys appointed me which side of town and where to go. So yeah, I made a lot of records, but I didn't print my first record to that tape I'm talking about. And it was a tape called When Dirty Harry Meets Sally, man. To see for what we on now, long back then, early 90s, just like 90, 91 or something like that. I remember a couple of cop killings with a couple of my homeboys out the neighborhood that was unjustified. So I wrote a song about it, you know what I mean? Then I had, on the flip side of that, I sampled this Barcade sample. And that song, they rotated on AM radio 3-4 times a day, you know what I mean? So, yeah, so that was like my first out the studio release. Then by the time, that was like around the same evolution of me and Lo coming back together. So we started actually, he was pressing his C-Lo, records. Then we started to combinate, you know what I mean, right in the essence of the camp and all that, and we started to print records then. So other than that tape, that'll be my first publication, man. Yeah, probably about 15, 16 or something like that.
Okay.
17.
When you got to the point and you finished recording that Who That,
yeah.
Did you instantly know like this is that motherfucker? Like that motherfucker is transcended everything out of the whole No Limit catalog.
Yes, sir.
I don't really know what stand out more than that song.
And that the other one that everybody do too.
Yo.
It's another one that everybody done
remade. No,
I'm talking about the beats they done remade, nigga.
Oh.
Yeah, niggas done
remade. But that because on the West Coast, California, when that joint dropped, and y'all, you know what I'm saying, when y'all was blazing up and killing the game, my side of town didn't have representative because he was over there working with y'all, Snoop Dogg. You know what I'm saying? He was over there with y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm LA. So that was one that we leaned on Crenshaw and on certain streets. Like,
what Problem we did it?
No, his.
Oh,
I'm older. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Problem reminded me of that I'm from the dopest age of hip hop. Right. When he remade it. Right. Because it's just that feeling. I don't know, the flow and the cadence, like you were saying earlier, any South Central motherfucker you meet, Los Angeles gonna know we linked on that joint. We linked on that joint. Too.
Look, I'm gonna tell you why you love it. And no disrespect, I know, Yuck from up north, Cali, Oakland, you know what I mean? I love Oakland like I love LA. Y'all ain't showed me nothing but love since the 90s, since I started coming out there physical, man. So I done rolled from San Bernardino up through Bluff Creek and all that kind of shit.
Yeah, we damn near by San Bernardino right now, man. You just called us out.
Damn near, yeah.
That's up, right on. Yeah, I love California, man. So check it out. Let me take y'all there, man. And you might not know this. I'm gonna tell you the whole inspiration to that and why y'all love it so much. This Parliament, you know what I mean? Snoop them was fucking with the Parliament, so I took that was in my soul, in my head that kept, shit. It wouldn't leave me alone. So it's one of them funky things off the Motor Buddha Fire record. It's the bass line. The drums is from my Uzi Wears a Tongue, Public Enemy. Then I flipped some other drum tracks, switch, okay? So that's East and West Coast. So like I say, the way I got the game, I gave the game back.
Gumbo.
Look, let me fuck you up. More importantly, LA is King T. I was going to sound for the King T, the actor Fool. That's one of my...
McBride, King T. Shouts out to King T. McBride, baby.
Hey, man, Tila, man. That's my nigga Tila, man.
Yeah, man. The king. Off the top. So when I'm saying I'm finna act the Fool, it come out the King
Fool, King T.
Yeah, LA, man, all day. So we call Louisiana baby LA, man. So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
One of the same, man,
LA, Louisiana, nigga.
I just came from my first Mardi Gras. Right before the bullshit happened, the latest one. And when I'm introducing myself to people, I'm not saying I'm from LA. I'm saying I'm from the other LA. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because we all cousins, grandparents, folks, fam. You know what I'm saying? So then you don't get no feeling like the real Nolans. They told me that. You got to say it like that.
A.W.
You got to say Nolans and going to the store.
That's it.
Ain't no store, nigga. And everything a cold drink.
Love a cold drink.
That's a cold drink. Man, I went and got my sandwiches from the liquor store, from the gas stations, all I had, the whole experience.
Man.
Goddamn Zulu, all that, man. But you right, man. You put just like how everybody love gumbo, you mix that music just like that for the audio ear.
Right.
You landed.
Look, this in mind too. While I was learning how to do the rap thing, started recording, I had DJ partners. So I've been doing the DJ thing since a kid. I just ain't take that as the overall. So mixing them, the music, I stand in the back room. I live like B Street Yuck, but in the South. I had 2 turntables and a suitcase. Like when you look at the Dr. Dre surgery case with the cartoon cover, I had shit like that in the suitcase with a mixer built in. My uncle used to ride the garbage truck. And he found that shit one day in the trash and re-put it together for me and moved to Atlanta. When he come back, I had went gold. I hadn't saw him since the 80s. But since then, I've been fucking with the turntables and that kind of shit. So on top of that, it's Earth, Wind & Fire and Aretha Franklin. Yeah, with the rock. So all that mixed together, and the word just it came down like it did. And I'm like I say, fucking with music in so many ways, live to technical shit. You know, it's just
this in the days of the ADAT. This is the ADAT days.
On the cool one, and really, to be honest, me and Happy Perez produced that record before Beats by the Pound and No Limit enhanced it. So I really produced it, and that's I produced it. Yeah, that's the whole thing. So I could write. It's like rapping to your own rhythm. You know what it is. You know what I mean? So
right.
That's the whole essence to that. Mixing the East, the West, and putting it in the soft gumbo pot, man. That's why y'all love it. I appreciate it.
Audio gumbo, baby.
See, that was hands on. You know what I mean? That was,
and then that's the days of the ADAT. So it probably took so long to get that track right.
Man, you know it.
All the shit, and you know what I'm saying, what you got to do for that. Today we doing this. Today we doing this. Today we doing this.
To make that whole shit about eight
and ain't no punching in, lazy motherfucker.
Not at all.
Ain't no punching in. Know your rap.
Yes, sir. Real shit.
My mama.
Absolutely. Yeah, man.
Hey, man, so what this shit called, man? The fucking movie. Okay, so motherfucking how you do that come out on goddamn Master P movie. I'm about it.
Yeah, man.
Now, nigga, Master P is like one of the biggest things out of New Orleans at the time, nigga. Out of the whole out of Louisiana at the time, besides the Cash Money.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yo motherfucking album with CeeLo goes on this motherfucking soundtrack, man. What was the vibe? What was the, you know what I mean? How was you feeling about it? You know what I mean? Did you get paid your first big ass check? You know what I mean? Like, because this before you even did a deal with the nigga. So tell me, This what even put him in the building with Master P. So tell me, how was that experience, man? And the excitement, you know what I mean, around you, the crew, the city, you know what I mean, and the label and so on. You feel me?
Man, like winning the World Series. You know what I'm saying? What they say, a prophet is no good in his own hometown. You know, when I started coming out there and people start, you know, and I take that back in one sense, because my hood, city, family, everybody always supported me. That record, the original record you're talking about, was number one on the radio station before it took off. So I was getting that kind of, you know what I mean, upstart, you know what I mean? The shows was paying off and all that type of thing. And in the midst of that, we're really, off of that record. When we first did that record, we used to, it's one main club in Baton Rouge called Vibes, man, and we, the line would be 8 layers thick. They didn't I didn't perform, you know, rid of the original Fool off the active Fool, to maybe 1 or 2 years later. They wouldn't let us in the club because people was tearing the clubs down. So it was ridiculous. It was on its way, and just the right place and the right time. That movie coming out, and when it popped on that, man, it was skyrocket, man. So like I say, you know, I started taking them trips out there, coming to Priority Records at the time, and we worked out a deal. And the rest was history, man. You mean the yacht, the boat, you know what I mean, the so on and so forth. The reflection off of that, I felt like I could put it this way. Mike Tyson being the youngest heavyweight champion ever. I'm 22, 23 years old. Yeah, man, and it's all, you know, everything you know,
So by you getting to the label, signing, but already had an established hit, you know what I'm saying? What was the competitive nature over there at No Limit by so many artists and so many different rappers?
Yeah, because everybody's coming out. He over there
was already cracking.
But he over there with Snoop is there.
But he was there a little before Snoop, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like a few years, because now 97, you was
97, no, Snoop
his joint.
Snoop
96, 97.
The end of 98.
Snoop got there 99. 98, up in that cusp.
98 probably.
Yeah. But probably dropped in 99 though, because of the.
I dropped 99. Yeah, probably.
So remember, they had to, you know, Mia X got shot like this. You know, the Mystical was already cracking before he got there when he had Y'all Ain't Ready Yet. You know what I'm saying? Before. So I'm saying, and all this is Louisiana. So it's a lost part and chunk of Louisiana. Motherfuckers don't know about the upstarted certain shit.
Yes.
That upstarted these big companies
Yes, indeed.
But y'all artists was all, because I heard a Mystical way back when it was Y'all Ain't Ready Yet or something. I think that was a joint.
I heard the Mystical before that.
Yeah, before he got over there. And then when he got over there, it was, about 94. You know what I'm saying? He was killing. So, I'm saying the competitive nature, everybody from Louisiana. All y'all, I don't know, from different parts, different wards, stuff like that.
But he's from fucking Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And New Orleans and Baton Rouge is two different spots.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So he have a competitive nature like with Lil Boosie and them, but they
already
came way after him.
No, I'm talking about on No Limit. Like he get there. We just got Bleed.
Right.
We just got Mystical. We just got Snoop. But then they had that core that was doing their thing too.
Right.
What was the nature like in those studio sessions? Because all y'all was on each other's albums. So it was always gassing. The twins, I forgot Cain and Abel. You know what I'm saying? Skullduggery, the Mac, you know what I'm saying? We can't forget, you know what I'm saying? I was
that nigga had the first rapping twins. I mean, I don't know about the first, but he had like the...
Yeah, he had some rapping twins. You sure right.
He had some rapping fucking twins named Cain and Abel. That was crazy. Yeah, he had a legendary ass label, man. But what was the competition around that thing? Did you have your chin up? Was your chin down, nigga? When Mystical came in that bitch, like your chin down when Snoop came in that bitch, you're like, nah, nigga, I'll gas all these niggas.
Yeah.
How was your chin, nigga, when the studio sessions was going on? Nigga?
They had a Dangerous Records vibe when you was over there with the top.
Yeah, well, was niggas trying to do
some of that?
The Masterpiece 6, some niggas on you to battle you, because when I got the Dangerous music, I had to battle everybody in the studio, nigga.
Yes, man. So, I done had a beautiful, blessed journey, and I done heard stories and been around a whole lot of shit, and definitely in the studio. But let me paint the slide for you. The best way I can get y'all an audio visual without the audio, but like Mac 10 and Bout, I show up like that. So I wasn't around No Limit all the time. We had our own thing, like you say, Baton Rouge and New Orleans, 45 minutes apart. The concentration camp, we was already making our own records. And nobody, when I say that, but just painting the slide for you. So what I can tell you this. I remember walking in, you know, No Limit headquarters had became, you know, they had moved to Baton Rouge. So that was in the city. So I go around, you know, a couple of times when I needed to do what I had to do. You know, I see everybody else when I saw them. But I remember walking in one time and it looked like a Muslim classroom in there, man. You know, when you see the boys reading the Quran and they doing this or that. Yeah. Something like that. And then in one sense, it was a rush to get on them records. P standing at the door. P looking at you out the side of his eyes. Because he finna catch a red eye in the middle of the night and be back in California tomorrow while the rest of us and whatever going home. So imagine that kind of pressure. But me saying the separatism, I wasn't directly under it. I was under the gun when I was there working. He was on my ass too one night, I never forget. To finish 3 records so he could turn the record in. So, you know what it is, yuck, you know what I mean? Maybe you too, Kato, when they say, hey, man, you know this 10% business, 10% talent and 90% business.
Oh, my mama.
Yeah, catching up with the plane and being, like you say, being on time and different things like that. Once it starts, it's a fast-moving ass treadmill. And if you can't stay on it, you're going to fall out. How y'all talking them dogs, how you take a pit and put in the box? Yeah, you're going to run him, he's going to run with it, or you're going to run him to death. One of the two going to happen. So, you know, it take real thorough players, you know what I'm saying?
Right, the maneuver.
Yeah, it look easy, but hey, man, I get my exercise in airports, train station, bus station, carrying luggage, and hopping out of cars, and yeah.
Oh, my mama.
All right, man, so it was a big-ass tour, man. You know what I mean? Was you on that No Limit tour?
The recent one?
No, not the recent one, not the reunion, the first one, man, the one that Snoop was on and the drama happened out here in L.A.
Okay, well, you know, kind of like always, like I say, one night we was in Houston together, and on that tour, that was the only time, if not another time, maybe Teen Summit in New Orleans. But when Snoop first came down, yeah, I did that night with him, but the rest of the shows, I wasn't there.
They don't know. Teen Summit do tours.
That was the shit.
Yo, the Biggie Smalls tour that we was on was a Teen Summit tour, my nigga.
Teen Summit was the shit.
Yeah, BT. But Al Heyman did it, though. Al Heyman, the dude that managed Floyd Mayweather, was putting up all the money. He still put up all the money for the big-ass tours, Live Nation and shit. So Al Heyman did that tour. But it was motherfucking, like you said, Teen Summit. Straight up.
In the Superdome, man. We was live in the Superdome. My first, and I want to say only time performing in the Superdome. So it was a big-ass show. You know, the show in Houston was a big-ass show. And I remember him introducing Snoop. It's coming in No Limit. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was a nice thing. Me and Snoop did a joint on the low, man, when he came down. When he come to Baton Rouge, we met in the flesh. We had been trying to reach at each other when I first started coming out there. But we met in the flesh, you know, Daz, my guy, Trey D, you know, all them boys, we got records together, and things like that. But we met on that stage that night, I want to say, me, Daz, Snoop, and his pops or something like that. And he was letting me know.
His uncle.
Okay.
Uncle Junebug.
Uncle Junebug.
Rest in peace, Uncle Junebug.
Yup, it wasn't his Uncle Junebug. I think that was Pops. I could be slightly mistaken, but he walked into in Houston. He was with him or something. It was just him, Daz, and yeah, I think he said it was Pops. He is short, kind of old dude, you know, brown skin. I remember that's on the night I met him, and he pointed and showed me where Snoop was on the back of the stage. So we chopped it up, swapped numbers, and he said, you know, I'm gonna be out there. And he called me. I could tell you this on that. What's the record he made? The Game Is To Be Sold. You know, he give me a shout out on the record. But
that's my shit.
That record. Yeah,
that's one of Snoop Dope's albums. Niggas be disrespecting.
They be sleeping on that one.
When he went over there, niggas
I like that. Don't let go. That's that shit right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
When he went over there, niggas kind of like, he ain't with that, bro.
Man, Beast on the Pound, they gave it flavor, man.
They got that boy some shit.
That was seasoning salt. They gave him some seasoning.
Yeah, the South. You know what I mean? Everybody was used to him hand in glove with Dre. So once you get a signature sound, you know
what's that one he did with goddamn C Murder?
Something strictly for my niggas, because I'm down for my niggas, right?
Down for my niggas.
Come on, them gnarless bands can kill that, man. That song lives forever.
That was the one.
That was live music, man. That's the second. We were so used to G-Funk and Parliament out of Snoop. So when it took him out the element and that flow, able to transcend with the seasoning salt.
Yes,
come on, man.
Yeah, it's Gumbo, man. You know, he made some nice records over there with No Limit, but in that time, we recorded a joint that didn't get on the record for whatever reason. Yeah, and it's that type of thing. But Snoop and my guys since back then Daz did a few records with me, so, you know, shouts out to them boys.
I sure like to hear them classics, man.
All right, so let's get the balls in my word.
Yeah, man.
How was it working on that album? Did you do it in-house with did you do it in-house with C-Loc, or did you work with that with Beats by the Pound and Master P and them?
With C-Loc and Happy Perez, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, in-house. So, but later, it's like 3 or 4 unreleased songs that we substituted. I really turned in the whole album, like 14 joints that didn't include No Limit, but nothing against them. I tried to reach at Mia to do a Bunny and Clyde kind of joint, and that never took place. So, like I said, we was in and out.
That would have been sick.
We had our thing, we'll connect. So I was trying to make certain moves and wasn't at the table. You know, him and Loc was more at the table with each other while I was working on them records. So in the end, when it was turned in, we substituted a few songs and incorporated P and the Mystical and the Fiend, The Time So Hard. You know, rest in peace to Pimp C, produced to Bring the Noise with Mystical and P on it. So, you know, P gave me a few records, man, and
Sweet Jones.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And those were the records I picked. Yeah, you know what I mean? And we wrapped it up, and I want to say P is on Keep It Real. That's a Happy Perez track. So it's really like about 3, if 4 Beats by the Pound track on that record. Everything else was Happy Perez.
So them Beats by the Pound, did you work in the studio with them, or they sent it? Like, how was it?
Yeah, I think I had, you know, of course I had to do the remake again. The How You Do That was probably our first studio experience together. Then those 3 joints I recorded, and of course with Snoop. So, you know, and different things. You know, them my guys, man. I talked to Moby recently, KL, you know, probably a year ago, and everybody else. Yeah, Craig beating them. So, you know, it always been love, but you know the politics to the game. Everybody doing their own thing. And we get a chance, we get together. But it was always a beautiful thing anytime we was in the studio together. Definitely.
Okay, man. We're going to address the elephant in the room, man. BET, the No Limit Chronicles. Did they portray you right in the No Limit Chronicles?
Man.
The No Limit Chronicles, a whole little documentary.
The doc.
Yeah, the doc that was on BET.
Were you satisfied?
Was it VH1?
Was it Hulu? It was on BET.
I think it was BET. Or
Netflix? It was on something.
VH1, one of those. But the Chronicles of No Limit. Did it portray you right, and did it portray the record label right?
Why I say this, for the fans, it's bittersweet. but for what, you know, everybody thought, and it's a good thing, you know what I mean? You know, I never officially signed to No Limit. I signed directly to Priority. So
so you had to like the goddamn the Game when he was with 50 Cent now, but Game was really signed to Dre. But he was with G-Unit because he was signed to Dre.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. So in that same sense, for the fans, it's bittersweet. They feel like I'm cut out. You know what I mean? But for what I know, I wasn't really that. My records show up when they showed, you know, the gold record and the platinum record list. So when my records show up, you know, I'm getting them calls and questions and different things like that. But really, I didn't get an invitation. Nobody mentioned that to me.
What? Whoa.
Yeah, so that type of thing. You know what I mean?
The anthem. You didn't make a song. You made a whole football team. The whole saying.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. Wow. That's like not 5. Like that's the 5 on it.
Wow.
That's a 5 on it.
That's the 5 on it.
Brenda's Got a Baby. That's a cheap thing.
That's one of the biggest on the fucking label, my nigga. Period.
Man.
How the fuck you ain't there? They could have, no disrespect, but they could have not had Mr. Servum there or something. You feel that you could have been. I'm fucking with you.
He might have been one of them. He might have been on one of them group joints at the
You should have been all through that motherfucker, man. No disrespect.
At least acknowledgement of the presence because of the weight that you carried with that, you know, with that movement.
Yeah, man. So, you know, that's the street talk. But just letting y'all know, you know, nobody never discussed that with me. Before I know that it was on TV, I looked at it, of course. You know what I mean? And it is what it is.
Ain't sent you no Master P noodles or nothing.
None of that shit, man.
Ain't no noodle. They couldn't get a Master P
pancake mix, shit,
I couldn't get a lobster bisque bowl of noodles. I can't get a Young Bleed noodle, spicy noodle. I can't get a beef spicy.
What them goddamn shoes called?
I can't get a manjari. Just get a manjari suit.
I just want to chip.
Manjari suit or nothing.
I got them manjari shoe.
Look, Eddie Murphy on the Golden Child, man. All I want is a chip, man. All I want is a chip.
Want the knife.
I want the knife. Please.
You know? Yes, I didn't get nothing about that till it was coming out and different things I've been seeing and hearing. That's just, you know, it's what it is. Free C and all that. I've been checking in with C people to, you know, hopefully he come home safe and all that type of thing. So I'm more concerned with that, man. You know, like I said, I peep it out there against nobody, but you know, it is what it is, I guess, you know.
So you wasn't on the reunion tour either?
Oh man, let me tell you this story. In a sense, you know, my name was in a few places, but it's like the same thing. The only thing I got invited to was the Chicago show. So, you know, I did my verse and, you know, got off the stage and everything else was kind of null and void. You know, it kind of came to that end. So like Ice Cube said straight out of Compton, hey man, look, man, I'd rather get off the bus. Yeah. They, you know, we in WA, man. So, you know, I took that approach and left the tour, man. So I ain't heard nothing from nobody. So I don't know what that is at the end of the day. But anytime I was called to approach, you know, I show up and do, you know what I mean? You know, long time now. So I don't know how to call that on the other side, you know?
Too monumental of a record for a little more respect to be shown.
Man, thank you, sir.
Just my opinion.
Yeah, man.
Hey, speaking of respect, man, we gotta address the elephant in the room, man. It's known that allegedly, I don't know because I never was an artist there, but it's known that Master P was taking a lot of artists publishing and not giving niggas they publishing, man.
Well, this is what I say. Yeah. You know, everybody got their stories to tell, I guess. For me, like I say, not having that direct with them, I ain't really had that problem. You know what I mean?
Right. Good business.
Yeah. So I can't speak for
made man.
Wish everybody well, but yeah, you know, you hear stories. So who's to know at the end of the day? You know what I mean?
Right.
But then sometimes a lot of artists, you know, devil's advocates don't really understand what's going on, and then they word is so fucked up, and then it be their lawyers and the conjecture be fucked up. Yes, and a lot of artists just don't want the headache of giving a fuck and just take the bread and go about their chicken shit business, and then in the end they find out and then come back and cry wolf. Well, you know, I got fucked. Well, you also bent over and took your pants down.
Right. You know what I mean? You know, that's why I say it's to each his own at the end.
That's why they want to keep it a young nigga sport, to keep motherfuckers blind and silly.
Man,
so let's get to On My Own.
Okay, yes.
On my own.
Yes,
now
sir.
that's an album that didn't have nobody on it, right? Nobody from No Limit on it, right?
Nobody. The only two major artists I had, and here again, shout out to the West Coast, was Daz and Too Short. You know what I'm saying? My
Billy
first
Daz, Showdown,
The West Coast go-tos.
Facts.
Yes, sir.
You
So
don't have anybody from the West Coast that can get Daz's show. Factoid.
yeah, man. So, you know, and shouts out to them. I appreciate them coming through for me at the time and anytime. So, you know, to the world, everybody thought I was saying, fuck No Limit, I'm on my own. But you know what it is to be a visionary. Yuck, I know you working on a plethora of projects at one time in your heat. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Now, I got the next 3-4 albums already named, and who's going to produce them and everything, all mapped out. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you got to have it mapped out. If you're a real artist, my nigga, you don't just do shit on the fly. If you're a solo artist.
And
you know what I
visionary.
mean?
Yeah, you see with your vision, you got your vision and you know what it was. So once I signed that deal, I had like a 7-album deal with Priority. That was the second album that I had in like 10 album list. So I just follow my format, but to the world and the perception, everybody kind of, you know, it drew its own kind of line. And I didn't have no more records. I said, if you want to know anything about me and my legacy with No Limit, you got to look at how many records I'm on. You see what I'm saying? I'm not on everybody. That's as many of the records was coming out, so that draw its own kind of speculation. So, in that sense, yeah, it wasn't that aim at all. I was always open to work with anybody that was willing to work with me. So I just followed up my template, man. And at that time, me and Short had moved to Atlanta or something like that, and I had the opportunity to go down there and record with Short and them bad with guys and all that type of
Was he in that Noontime studio in Atlanta? Noontime?
Yeah. It was butter, yeah. We were smoking about 100 blunts, about 50 niggas up in there. It was gutter. He said some niggas wouldn't come to that spot. So if you know about that spot, when he first come down there, like the end of 98, early 99 at the latest.
Oh, yeah. That's before Noontime.
Okay, yes, sir. Yeah. So, you know, Short come through for me. We did a couple of records. And Daz flew down on his own one time and come record it with me for my own record.
So he flew to Baton Rouge, or he flew to Atlanta?
Nah, he flew to Baton Rouge. Came stayed a couple of days.
You and Daz, didn't y'all have a whole project, or y'all just had just joints?
Nah, we was talking about doing one on a couple of his compilations. You know.
Yeah, his compilations. I remember. Yeah.
Shit, I release, he'll re-release. You know what I mean? So he always double push for me. You know what I
only on the left side. And some of those CDs, those 2000 independent Daz joints.
Yes, sir.
Y'all was linking up. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah. That's my guy, long time old Daz, man. Yes, sir.
The Dilly, man. Let's get to this third album, man. Vintage, man. Explain the process of that, and then, you know what I mean? Explain, you know, what was the result after that with your record deal and everything else. Okay,
man. I had the honor and the pleasure, man, recording on like this 40-acre studio, man, half swampland. You know.
Hold on, that's Spike Lee shit?
Nah, this was in Louisiana on the outskirts of a little country town called Prairieville, but the man that owned it used to play bass guitar for Andy Gibb and the Bee Gees and
shit.
So he was an old white Santa Claus man. He called my white granddaddy that we took to each other like that. And I started using his facility. Sometime I think I want to even say, I finished my own there. So for my own writing to Vintage, he was really shutting down his spot. He took a liking to me, and it was like, you know, I keep it open for you. So that became my headquarters. You know what I mean? I could record that record. So he had a like wood cabin kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? Cribs and, you know, I don't know, 40 acres. You know, main house, studio house, different shit like that. And he had like gold 45s, a Barbara Streisand, Ray Charles. He had played with some of the best of them.
Wow.
So, out of the game, that kind of shit. It was in there. I was in back to kind of like a restart. After I did my own, you know, in the middle of recording Vintage, Priority folded. But my whole thing was that old and new concept and a restart. And I didn't know the restart I was finna go into and back to an independence like that. So having that facility, wood kind of cabin studio, you know what I mean? And those kind of records on the wall. You know, we used to drink a lot of red wine and different shit like that. I was able to kind of country boy, laid back. It was kind of like, he was kind of like, in the sense, like a John Tonster. You know what I mean? Wild as hell. We had shotguns and could do all kind of wild shit like that, and really morphed into a family out there. And we started to make records, me and my family and homeboys. I call out the cities on Tuesday and Thursday nights just to get out the city when the police raids were coming and be back there with me recording. So I was able to make a whole lot of records, but talking vintage. I remember being in the middle of that, and we walk out. We went and took a lunch break, one of the sessions, and come back and got the invoice that Priority had folded. So I had other plans and a greater direction with that record that was going to include Outkast, Goody Mob, and different things like that. And that rug was kind of taken from me with the fold of Priority Records. So it took me back to my old setting, and like I say, in a restart kind of mode, to where really a lot of the producers that was around me, we had like whatever wasn't standard or whatever the time equipment, XB50s and different things. We started to morph and make music kind of like I hear Hank Shockley and them talk about. Everybody just getting to a groove, DJs in the corner mixing different things, and we'll find a sweet spot, play live with the, you know what I mean, with everything that was electronic, and start coming up with different records that you hear on that vintage. So a lot of that is real live saxophone players and, you know what I mean, trumpet players and different things.
Yeah.
So going back into that old and new music with live instruments, I wanted to call it that, you know what I mean?
That's dope. So you called it vintage because you was doing live instrumentation.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
See, I got an album called I'm doing called Elegant Thug. It ain't gonna be live instrumentation, but it's gonna be real jazz. You know what I mean? Like when Guru and Gangstar used to make Jazzmatazz, but it's gonna be street.
Yes, sir. Yeah, you know how to do it. You got the street side, then you MC enough to do it on that type of shit. So I can't wait to hear that, man. Yes, sir.
Hey, man, speaking of that, bro, you fuck with two of my homeboys in the game, man. I never knew this, man. You was signed to West Coast Mafia, Sibo?
Absolutely. That's Big Bro, man.
That's the logo, man. Hold up. Swole up, nigga. That's my Thug Lord brethren, bro. I know you was signed to see West Coast Mafia for a minute.
I'm finna fuck your head up, man, and bless your heart at the same time. I was in the studio session around 2004, 3-4 or something like that, yup. And my manager, Paul, at the time, brought me a Murder Dog magazine. And it had a picture of you and Sibo back to back in it, advertising Thug Lords. But somewhere in that, they asked Bo or something like that with some of the artists that he'd like to work with. And my name was in there. So immediately, I've been a fan of y'all. So I told my people, man, find Bo, man, and see what's happening. Bo was locked up for whatever, he had going on. So me and T-Po met, with West Coast Mafia.
Shout out T-Po.
You know what I mean? Absolutely. So I come on back out there, you know what I mean? He rolled me around, introduced me, showed me what Carson was. I didn't know about Carson, California for a while. So me and T-Po became homies, you know what I mean? That type of thing while Bo was doing his little time. But the day he was released, I was working on the Rise Through the Ranks record. That was my first West Coast Mafia record. Me and T-Po did the deal and put everything together. And the day he come home was the day we had sent the record back out there to be mastered. I said, well, my gift to you when you come home, man, go get the record out the master. So whatever day that was, that's how that happened. Yup, with a picture of y'all in there, and that sparked the relationship, and that led me to you.
Wow.
Inspiration to the
wow. Come on, man. Hold up. Shout out to motherfucking Murder Dog, man.
Yes,
see the connection before Clubhouse, nigga. Fuck Clubhouse. We had Murder Dog, nigga.
Murder Dog.
Clubhouse ass niggas, man. Anyway, man. Another one of my homeboy. What album did you drop, though? Was it Once Upon a Time in America? What album did you drop on West Coast?
America.
That was the second one. The first one was Rise Through the Ranks, Volume 1 from Ernie the Capo.
Okay, Rise. I forgot that one. Rise Through the Ranks. My bad.
Yeah, that's the first West Coast Mafia record. Then I did Once Upon a Time in America, and I'm the only two records that I released through West Coast Mafia. But me and Bro, I just talked to Bro probably a few days ago, so it's love and family always been. Yes, sir.
Hell yeah, man. That boy cooking up all types of motherfucking fish fries and goddamn shrimp broils and shit, crab broils and shit. That boy Bo is an animal, my nigga. Hey,
that, yeah.
Hey, like,
Yeah.
do you got any? Cause Bo's a wild one, man. Do you got any stories with Bo, like some wild ones? Because I had some wild ones with that. That nigga's a wild animal, man.
Yuck, I'm gonna paint the slide for
A
you.
studio session, man. It ain't gotta be wild. This a dope ass
I ain't
moment.
gonna get into no technicalities, but imagine this. Bo, he was coming back and forth to Cali wherever he was going, and you know, he had a sister that lived like about 7 minutes up the road from me. So when he'll come down there, he'll post with sis, and he'll pick me up like a school bus in the morning. 9 in the morning, he picking me up, we riding all day and doing what we do. But strictly to go get us some smoke, something to eat, hit that studio. I didn't know Bo knew what he knew on Pro Tools. It was just be me and him. And then he did all the technical shit I didn't know. You know, he had beats and, you know, I had beats and we'll put some shit together. So eventually he moved down there for a while. So we was living right up the street from each other. So it was an everyday thing.
Everyday thing.
For the first time, I want to say I think is originally from like Ruston, Louisiana. I didn't know that. So we shared a whole lot of time and did a lot of records. You know what I mean?
Blood radio.
That type of thing. So like I say, when I say bro, you know, I tell Bo this, and I told him this from the gate. I said, man, I don't fuck with you just because you see Bo. I fuck with you because you're a nigga that was living in North California. And out of all the niggas I feel like that overlooked me, you came way from down there, bro, when I needed a little extra push and reintroduced me to that West and brought me out there, bro. So much love.
That's dope.
So, but
Bo's a real nigga.
Look, let me give you this story. I got one for you. When you say the studio, okay.
No. Give me one of them stories, man. Bo's a real one, my nigga. I got gangster stories, man. I got gangster stories, nigga. Bo ain't no joke. On the mic and in them streets.
Yeah, he pulling up like 50 years old, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, he pulling up.
I'm gonna tell you, I gotta tell you this one, yuck. You remember when all that shit happened? We was talking about G-Unit earlier with Young Buck.
Oh, yeah, right.
Like, I had never met Buck in life. So I wake up one day, Bo come pick me up like he do, and say we finna go to the hotel and fuck with Buck. It was a dude, rest in peace. I think he from Oakland named Hollywood, was shooting a movie out there. And,
Hollywood, yep. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. So check it out. So they was doing that. I was finna get on, you know, he was gonna put me on the soundtrack, but he flew Omar Gooden out there. And what's my man who I just say, Young Buck. So I had never met Buck. I didn't know Buck was a part of Cash Money and so on and so forth. So we pull up in the hotel, he come out the room and we shooting the shit, kicking it. They go to the set. I want to say who else was out there, man. Come out of G's in them camp. Blood Raw. I met him. He was out there with us. So we all just chilling, kicking it. And before we left, we all got us some smoke, about a little half a easy. You know what I'm talking about? It's Bo had rented like this little pickup truck, man, with the little cab in the back. So me and him in the front. Yup, and his manager, I don't know if the guy's name was Black, but he was a real cool homie. So we all riding. A Buck got him some food or something from somewhere. So we heading to the studio, coming off the interstate. And the police got on us. So you know how y'all California boys do. I used to tell Bo this all the time. Say, bro, when you stop at the fucking stop sign, this ain't California, this the South. You know what I mean?
You gotta really stop for 5 seconds.
No California road.
Nah, you can't we call it California stopping when you press the brake and keep going. So, you know, they had got on us for some shit like that. And when they pull us over, look, here go Bo. Bo on, I don't know what he was thinking, but yuck, he jumped out the window and say, hey, man, look, man, I'm C-Bo, man, I'm C-Bo. Look, it's 2 cops, check it out, stone face. White man and a Mexican cop. The Mexican cop looked like Pancho from Chips. Had
Poncharelli.
Yeah, Poncharelli.
Prada-looking motherfucker.
Right, so all us got to have for easy. And we like, man, shit, nigga can't eat it, can't do nothing, we kind of stuck. Buck say, man, I can't go to jail, bro. I ain't going to jail. I just can't, or something had happened. He ain't want to go back to jail. So while we in there, and I'm like, you know, just be cool and see what happens. Try to get the ticket or whatever, you know what I mean? And let's go ahead. When they got to the window, a Mexican cop looked in the back and took his glass and says, that Young Buck sitting back there? You know what I mean? When they asked him that, is that Young Buck? He said, man, get out the car, man. You know, give me an autograph or something. He said, man, I saw that The shit that was on TV last night. This was the very next day after 50 Cent put this on the Extra. And I met all at the same time. So
when he put what on Extra?
You remember when he did that little phone call them, you know, a few years back?
When he was crying?
Oh, when Buck was crying?
When he was crying on the phone. You know what I mean? So
yeah, you know, Buck was signed to the West Coast Mafia too.
I do remember that.
And the Outlaw.
The cops say, look, man, I'm from the hood too. Fuck that shit. Give me an autograph and man, look, you know, you have a good day. Hold your mouth, whatever he told him. And he was such a Buck fan. When Buck thought he was the one finna get in trouble, he the one that saved us. You see what I'm saying?
Shout out Buck, man.
Shout out Buck.
Look, he say to the cops, say, man, you see that red light? Fuck it. Y'all do what y'all want to do. And you know, Bo peeled off like it was a Ferrari or some shit, tearing up the street. And we went on to the studio and had a good night, good session, man. Yes, sir.
That's a wild one. Yeah, Bo is mainly, bro. That nigga would have had a high-speed chase. You lucky you ain't had Bo in California. That would have been a high-speed chase, nigga. Y'all would have had to jump out the car, nigga. Let's rerun it. I'm fucking with y'all just playing, man. We ain't gonna pay Bo like that, man. Real OG. Man, you fuck with another one of my niggas, though, bro. Tech 9. You was signed to Strange Music, nigga? This nigga was signed to Strange Music, nigga. Oh, yeah, do your thing, man.
Yes, indeed. Absolutely. And this family affair, complete circle, man. Shouts out to
I mean, basically, the Travis.
Yeah, but the Travis off top. But my connection there was Dave. You know what I mean? Dave came from Priority. He was the first guy to come greet me.
Dave Mays?
Dave Weiner from Priority.
Dave Weiner, right. I forgot Dave Weiner's part of their shit.
Yeah, he was vice president over there, you know, and, you know, that type of thing, you know, whatever they had going on at the time. But he being the vice president, knew a guy in the street by the name of Chauncey Clyde, that's a promoter and an up-and-coming artist out that way. It was a partner of mine. And we had a record, underground record we put out, and I guess them riding one day, he got a chance to hear and realized he knew me. And we got back on the phone. It was right coming out that second record with West Coast Mafia. So I got the opportunity. He introduced me, of course, to Trav and then Tech. And yeah, you know, somewhere like what was that, like 2010 to 2012. I was over there for probably about a couple of years. Yeah, man.
What albums did you drop over there?
I just did a record called Preserve, man, and I did a book to it. Shout out to Storm Baker too, man. He helped me put my first book together. But it was
huge. Nigga, you put a book with an album?
Yes, sir. The Making of Preserve. And the album being called Preserve, man. But yep, I just did that one record and ran through one time, and you know, back to the same old. Yes, sir.
Oh man, that's crazy, bro. Small motherfucking world, my nigga. Small motherfucking world, man. Sweet boy. Hey, any legendary stories being on them Strange tours, man? Because them niggas keep niggas on tour. I know you was on tour with them niggas, man. I know your ass was on that 260-day-a-year tour. They go 260 days. Nigga, it's 365. Nigga, they go 260 days a year touring. Tell me about them Strange tours, bro.
Oh, man, we was talking about y'all being close to San Bernardino. That's how I rode the whole California for the first time. I did like 2.5 months with them straight on the road. Everyday action, maybe 1 or 2 days we took a break. But right before that 90 days, 99 shows or something, right before that tour, when Tech did that 6 and 7 record. So I rode that at least half of that 6 and 7 tour. And yeah, man, that goes so many ways, man, and so many days. It was moving that fast. But it was a beautiful tour that long. And it's like it's a crazy middle lane from where we come from, where it wasn't all the way ghetto gutter. It wasn't all the way suburban white. It's kind of like, but like if you look back into the what they say the flower children days in the 60s, it was like the 60s in a middle lane that we didn't know nothing about. So it was a fantastic journey. I got to see him meet and see.
He talking about them juggalos. He don't want to say they hippies / like rave hippie, hated face niggas all in one.
Yes,
real fanatics.
The new wave. No, I did one show. I wasn't even part of the tour. I was booked on one of his shows when the tour stopped. And it was one of them juggalo events, and it's like a real fair. Like, nigga, they got the motherfucking Ferris wheel and shit. They got all the shit out there in the crowd. They got all the motherfucking shit. And when you perform, it's hell of the motherfuckers, right? They got painted face and shit. They grudge, all the shit, right? And if they like you, they throw shit at you.
Yeah.
So them niggas just throwing whole 2 liters at niggas. So I'm on stage, they threw a 2 liter at a motherfucker. That motherfucker didn't bust. I threw that motherfucker right back at that nigga. Blah! Fuck these motherfuckers. Like, nigga, don't be throwing no 2 liter up here. You threw that shit from hella far. That shit landed it. You know how 2 liters slide and landed on his back and just slid. I grabbed that bitch, frisbee that bitch. Bah! Fuck the nigga up. But they be throwing shit, bro. Did anybody throw some shit on stage when you was performing? Because them motherfucking juggalos like to throw shit.
I'm gonna tell you what happened to me, Yuck, and I'm glad you brought that up. This night I was out there. I forget what part of California we was in, man, but it was for Insane Clown Posse show, I want to say.
Oh yeah, they throwing hella shit at the Insane Clown Posse. That's a throw event. Man. They threw some firecrackers at Tila Tequila. Damn. Yeah, they threw fireworks at her ass. So go ahead.
Crazy. But look, I didn't get it to that degree. But when you said a 2 liter, it's an annual thing. Rather you know that or not. You know, being on stage at the end of their show. I mean, I had some all white G Nikes on, man. I had just got them. It was the
wrong ones to have at a motherfucking strings tour.
Man, the stage is 2 inches of Faygo. So everybody got the Faygo shit and they shaking it up and throwing it on the stage. That's their whole thing. Yeah, so my white shoes was orange, pink, and everything else, man.
Sold it up.
I sold it up. So yeah, that part of it, man. And like I say, just it was just a whole different adventure for me. The whole thing. It was beautiful. It was cool. I love it. The people started to take. To me, first it was a slow reaction. You know what I mean? Just being same but different, coming from the South and being the only Southern artist on that. So that whole crowd had to take to me. I had to take to them. But some was old diehard No Limit fans too. So it worked itself out. So yeah,
I'm gonna keep it a buck. It's hella hard to upstage a Tech Nine show. Tech Nine is so ultimate in performing. Him and Chris Calico, and that's probably when they had old boy, the other one. You know what I mean? Before he left. So they be breakdancing, pop locking, and got dance routines, and they singing they shit without the words, word for word. Chris Calico's kind of heavy set. He ain't fat, but he's out there like a nigga that's like a toothpick. He's moving, he's grooving. It's light shows and shit, all types of shit, pyro fire and shit, and there's all types of fucking graphics and shit and digital shit going on. So it's hard to upstage that, my nigga. So when you perform before that, it is hard, nigga. I assume you got a lot of phantoms threw at you before they took ahead. You know what I mean? So they really fuck with you.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. But yeah, that was my inside connection day. One that got me over there. And like I said, I had a beautiful time. And just like the time of the past, I was promised when I came over there, I wouldn't have to go through all the things I had been through. The whole thing was to rekindle me. And at the time I was over there, Brother Lynch was over there too as well.
Lynch, that's my nigga.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we redid the How You Do That, me, him, and Tech. So I had a lot of plans and ideas that I hope we could
Simone it.
You know what I mean? So, but it was short-lived.
Like a brand new gift, ready to be unwrapped.
Man, that part.
I guess I was popped in this motherfucker. I gotta move out the middle. She gotta get that middle window. But yeah, man, let us know what you got coming up, bro, because you've been working definitely, bro. But let them know what you got coming up, the new albums, the new record label, you know what I mean, all the new ventures and shit you got going on. You're out of town right now doing power moves, man. Tap the world in with motherfucking Young Bleed. What you got going on right now and your future plans?
Oh man, yeah. Since this COVID and everything, man, since November 6th, I put out an EP called Signs and Wonders. That's kind of based on the times and what's going on. I got my label. Actually, my label was birthed around the same time I signed with Strange to do a co-op deal with them. Was my second label, Trapdoor Entertainment. So I've been in the works with it for like the last 10 or so years. But boosting the label, I got like 25 artists on deck. We all working over here. I done released 5 projects. As a matter of fact, we different time frame, but it's 12 a.m. out here. So I just released a new artist by the name of Zam Two Turn. He his EP dropped tonight called Nothing to Lose. It's out now on all the social media platforms. But rewinding the tape, I did the Signs and Wonders in November. I followed up with a re-release record that we put out underground in 2008 called Young Bleed and Freeze Off the Curb, which is one of my homies out of Monroe, Louisiana. And when he was doing his first album, you know, Free his CEO Big D and big brother of mine out there in Bastrop, Louisiana, fighting the case. But saying that to say this, you know, he decided to, you know, to freeze out with me. You know what I mean? When he first came out. So it's a super dope record. It's called Off the Curb. I put out my first group from the label called the Younger Gang. You know what I mean? Bad Words and Adverbs. That record is out. And I re-released the Carleone Family. I think we originally put it out like 2004, 2005. You know, so some records that people hadn't heard. What I learned is what's old to us is new to people that ain't heard.
Yeah, that I heard it. Yeah.
Retro shit is back, nigga. Say that again, my friend. Retro shit is back, Jack. Yeah, it is.
Yes, sir. So, you know, up until tonight will be the 5th project I done put out since November last year. Next month, I'm dropping my next solo. I'm calling There Is a God, man. First time I'm doing the record. You're gonna love it. You too, Kato. It's the first time I'm doing the record without the profanity, but it's still hard and it's dope. And
okay. DOC. That was a DOC.
Look, the cover gonna blow your mind, man. I went out to St. Louis early this year and never had went to the Ark, man. And had my girl take a picture of me standing between that Ark. And when you see the formation of the clouds, it looked like the eyes of God. I got a single coming out called In the Eyes of God that I made a couple of years ago, way before this had happened. But I was wondering what type of cover I was going to use for a title called There Is a God. You know what I mean? But when you see that cover and you see that them eyes, man, it's phenomenal. So I got, you know, some super dope stuff. We cooking up for that. You know what I mean? About 13 heaters if I don't go overboard. But I'm trying to wrap that up and get it out sometime. February. You know, he got his projects. Like I said, 25 artists, everybody working. You know, no pressure. As they turn into projects, I'm trying to keep up with a 2-3 week rudiment. You know what I mean? For his you know, getting everybody out. You know, hopefully for the years out, man, and along with compilation songs so far. So, you know, label-wise, that's what I'm doing for as myself, as Young Bleed, the artist, the label traffic. You know, I'm working on a comic book too. Yuck, I need some help.
Hey, same shit, baby. Same
Get together like X-Men and have a episode togetger. For real, nigga. Combine the companies, cross-promote that motherfucker.
Hold on, let them name his shit. Let them talk his shit.
I'm gonna kind of keep the name discreet right now. Like I said, I might need a little help. Like, you know, shouts out Colorado, man. Of course, you know, we got a family that's one of the same CWK Productions, Chris Kleitz and Papa Mom out there.
Pops and Moms. Small motherfucking world, man. That's fam. You see, they dragging Tatted and Strange Tatted.
They talk all the time good about you, Yuck, but saying this to see if you know Ben Vargas from out there that got the Tattoo Syndicate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's doing the cartoon work for me as we speak. And I'm just trying to build my characterization. Like I said, this is my first time. And I think recently, you know, when I talked to you last, I learned that you had one and different things like that. So I'm picking up on, you know, trying to get to the side of thing with the strands and all that, you know. So whatever ventures open up, you know what I mean, we start one way and end up another, man. So I'm going where the God, you know, where the good Lord lead me, more or less, you know what I mean?
Man, whenever you finish that motherfucker, y'all need distribution. I'm going to introduce you to the company that distribute me and Ha Davis comic book. Okay. You know what I mean?
Appreciate that, bro. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Definitely, man. Look, give me your social medias before we get the fuck up out of here, my nigga.
Okay, look, before I do this, I knew I was forgetting one thing, Yuck, I want to add to this, and you know about it already. I'm also a co-host at a podcast station in H-Town called Bangin' 832 Radio, man. So, you know.
Off top, man. Shaq, man. Come on, man. You forgot the main club, man.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Feel me?
You know what I mean? But Standard to say this, man. Every Tuesday and Thursday night we do New Music Tuesday.
Say this.
2 days out the week and Throwback Thursday with legends and all that. Yuck was one of the guys and one of my bros that came through. Shouts out to Cujo Goody and Summer No Limit and all, So, I do that throughout the week, man. In the meanwhile, keeping these records pumping. But yeah, I had to mention that Bangin' 832 Radio, man. Shouts out each time.
Shouts out to Bangin' 832.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Social medias, man, before we get up out here and your websites and all that shit, where they can get your merch, your albums and everything.
Okay, yeah, man. Starting with the website, www.trapdoorent.com is the website for everything latest and the greatest. For Facebook fans, man, y'all go to the Young Bleed fan page. On Twitter, it's at Real Young Bleed, and on Instagram, it's The Real Young Bleed. And anything else, Google me, man. I'm out here. Holla at your dog.
Google me, dog.
I'm at you right now.
Mm-hmm. And look, subscribe to the Young Bleed page on YouTube too, man. You know what I mean? So I got a lot of,
Oh yeah, gotta get the
YouTube, bitch. What's your YouTube?
I'm just Young Bleed.
Young Bleed on the YouTube handle, man. Hey, man, thank you one more again, my nigga. You know what I mean? Yo, man, you always been real since I met you, bro. Like, niggas always think it's been beef with No Limit, man. I really had real relationships with real niggas from No Limit after this shit. It ain't no beef. I done talked to Master P. We done cleared that shit up, so it ain't no beef, my nigga. Rest in peace to motherfucking Soulja Slim.
Absolutely, rest in peace.
But that was one of my niggas. You know what I mean? When I touched down in Detroit, because him and BG was living in Detroit. Remember that?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
So him and BG was living in Detroit. I was out there with the Cheddar Boys. When I touched down and we go to the club popping bottles, niggas, Soulja Slim and BG and that motherfucker, they in there together because they pressing that line. Yeah. That Louisiana line, that LA line. So they in there together. Nigga, the boy Soulja Slim, he always sending me bottles, nigga, like, yuck, I love your shit, nigga, rap a lot, woo, 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 woo. So rest in peace to a real one. In the middle of the beast, you know what I mean? In the middle, like, nigga, I always fuck with you, nigga, you a real one, woo, woo, woo. So yeah, I always had a real connection with No Limit niggas, regardless of what niggas thought it was beef was, you know what I mean? Period. Salute to you, my G, because you done been across the board with all my niggas, man. From fucking West Coast Mafia to fucking Strange, you know what I mean? And legendary No Limit, man. You know what I mean? So salute to you, my brother. You know what I mean? We definitely gonna give your flowers, my nigga. You feel me?
Oh, my mama.
And yeah, we gonna tune into your podcast, my nigga. Have a great night, my nigga. Love you, bro. Good shit, my nigga. Yada da.
Salute.
Man. This been another episode of Smoke a Lot motherfucking Radio. It's your motherfucking host with the most Culado Smoke Yuck motherfucking mouth with the illest nigga in Nebraska.
Kato Bonya. Oh my mama.
And before we leave, we gotta give them their real vitamins, man. Let's shout out our sponsor for the night, man.
Shouts out to the motherfucking sponsors.
Yada da. Rapper Kush
Introducing Rapper Kush Kratom, the lead brand tearing up the Kratom extract competition.
Yes.
With its high quality food grade formula.
Yes.
The Kratom game is popping off and see why for yourself today.
Yes.
It's been medicinally used for hundreds of years in Southeast of Asia. Kratom interacts with the dopamine receptors in your brain to help relieve stress and pain without interrupting your day-to-day activities.
Okay.
Active Kratom users swear by this natural powerhouse to help them thrive through life without having to rely on painkillers or any other stimulants. Rapper Kush Kratom takes pride in offering you top quality Kratom, whether you need it for pain relief or a general mood boost. Rapper Kush Kratom, the only brand that makes you say, yeah!
Yada-da. And it's been another night of Smoke a Lot.
Get your Kratom on, bitch!
We out this motherfucking Kratom. Yada-da me. Young Bleed.
Kratofonia.
Katofonia. Motherfucking give them their vitamins.
Go to Digital Soapbox, brother. Go to motherfucking YouTube, brother. Go to the motherfucking shit and log on. Log in. What you gonna do? We Smoke a Lot Radio. That'll smoke on you, brother.
Out this bitch, man. Let's go Soapbox TV. Subscribe to you motherfucking guy. Bye-bye now.
Oh, my mama.